A multi-million-dollar capital ship cruising wide open in hostile waters with a completely barren flight deck is the ultimate military nightmare. The Brazilian Navy operates NAM Atlantico, the largest amphibious assault ship in South America. But this massive vessel currently lacks any fixed-wing fighter jets. This technical void leaves billions of United States dollars in offshore oil fields dangerously vulnerable at sea, leading global defense analysts to argue that on paper, their only tactical salvation would be the US F-35B Lightning II stealth fighter. Imagine a sudden, low-cost drone swarm combined with a long-range cruise missile strike targeting the vital maritime platforms of the Blue Amazon, an economic zone holding over 90% of Brazil's oil reserves. Without a carrier-based supersonic interceptor to establish a mobile no-fly zone, this primary naval flagship becomes completely defenseless against asymmetric threats. This reality exposes a staggering strategic paradox for a regional titan. Brazil boasts an elite domestic defense industry capable of building advanced diesel-electric submarines and local military transport aircraft. Yet its blue water fleet remains strategically useless when deployed far from the safety of land-based air cover. The hard reality of its internal defense budget structure leaves the frontline fleet exposed to saturation attacks, as the vast majority of military funds are legally tied to personnel pensions rather than new equipment. Facing a ticking clock in the South Atlantic, independent defense experts suggest that Brazil's maritime survival may ultimately depend on a vertical landing stealth asset that Washington closely guards. Before we go on, do you think possessing stealth fighters is the only way for a nation to protect its oceans, or is there a better alternative? Hit subscribe to join our defense community and tell me where you're watching from. To understand how Brazil fell into this strategic trap, we must examine the deep structural ironies within its defense establishment. The nation possesses a highly sophisticated industrial base, boasting the aircraft giant Embraer and a naval ship program that successfully manufactured advanced diesel-electric submarines. Yet, when looking at the flagship NAM Atlantico, this engineering prowess becomes practically useless due to a severe fiscal bottleneck. Between 75% and 80% of Brazil's annual defense spending is legally bound to personnel pensions and benefits for a massive, outdated bureaucratic apparatus. This leaves almost nothing for modern procurement, creating a critical gap where the country can design world-class technology for export, but cannot afford to properly arm its own frontline forces. The tactical crisis peaked after the decommissioning of their previous conventional aircraft carrier, the São Paulo, which left the fleet without any operational fixed-wing aviation. The military tried to adapt by deploying old AF-1 Skyhawk attack jets from land bases, but these legacy systems are completely incapable of defending the fleet against modern saturation tactics. The core of the problem is the physical design of NAM Atlantico itself. Originally built as Britain's HMS Ocean, this vessel completely lacks steam catapults or arrestor wires. It was engineered purely for helicopters and landing craft. Because of this technical limitation, standard naval fighters cannot take off or land on its flat deck, leaving the entire carrier strike group exposed to high-speed threats. On the modern battlefield, a warship without supersonic air cover is just a massive floating target. Brazil's blue water fleet is effectively defenseless against incoming anti-ship missiles and long-range drone attacks. This strategic paradox means that despite its vast economic wealth and domestic talent, the country is totally naked out in the deep ocean, creating an urgent dilemma where leading global defense analysts argue that on paper, their only tactical salvation would be the US F-35B Lightning II stealth fighter. This structural vulnerability leaves the Brazilian Navy with only one technical salvation on the entire planet: the F-35B Lightning II stealth fighter. Independent military experts frequently point out that the F-35B is not just another expensive aircraft, but rather the single mechanical savior capable of fixing Brazil's massive naval deficiency. The secret lies in its short takeoff and vertical landing capability, powered by an innovative Rolls-Royce lift fan system and a vectoring exhaust nozzle that can rotate 90 degrees downward. This unique engineering allows the supersonic jet to launch from the short, flat flight deck of NAM Atlantico without needing a massive steam catapult, and return to land vertically like a helicopter. Beyond its physical compatibility, the F-35B serves as an airborne command center for the entire fleet, using its advanced APG-81 radar and distributed aperture system to detect incoming threats from hundreds of miles away. By integrating this fifth-generation platform, defense analysts suggest Brazil could instantly link its new Tamandaré-class frigates to a shared tactical network, creating an impenetrable defensive umbrella over the blue Amazon oil fields. This makes the aircraft the only realistic economic solution available on paper, as buying a new conventional carrier would cost the government billions of United States dollars and take over a decade to construct. This leads global defense analysts to argue that deploying the F-35B would completely transform the regional balance of power, instantly converting an exposed helicopter transport into a lethal, low observable pocket carrier capable of dominating the South Atlantic. For a fleet currently struggling with tight operational procurement budgets, this single asset offers an immediate hypothetical leap into the future of naval warfare, erasing years of neglect and transforming a defenseless naval formation into a highly capable deterrent against any modern adversary looking to exploit their territory. Yet, despite the undeniable tactical brilliance of the F-35B Lightning II, the reality of Brazil securing this weapon remains blocked by a massive wall of geopolitical friction. Leading global defense analysts argue that Washington maintains strict control over who receives fifth-generation stealth technology, and Brazil's position as a core member of the BRICS alliance creates severe hesitation among American policymakers. Furthermore, independent defense experts suggest that integrating the jet would force the Brazilian Navy to link its communications directly with American military servers for daily maintenance, a reality that heavily compromises their doctrine of independent national sovereignty. Beyond the political hurdles, on paper, the flight deck of NAM Atlantico lacks the specialized thermal coating required to withstand the intense exhaust heat produced during a vertical landing, meaning the ship itself requires multi-million-dollar modifications before any aircraft can touch down. This leaves the entire nation caught in a deep strategic dilemma, proving that having a wealthy economy is totally useless if your primary naval asset remains fundamentally exposed out in the open ocean. Ultimately, this crisis reveals a profound lesson in global defense. True military power cannot be bought overnight through quick foreign acquisitions when your domestic budget structure is fundamentally broken from within. This leaves the future of South American naval power hanging in complete uncertainty, balancing between high-tech dependence and traditional self-reliance. Was this persistent desire for the American stealth fighter a genius survival move to protect the nation's vast resource wealth? Or will it go down as the biggest strategic mistake in Brazil's history by tying their national sovereignty to a foreign power? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and do not forget to like and subscribe for more in-depth defense analysis.